The new trends in fashion are often older trends completely forgotten. Looks like the Amazfit Neo is trying to do exactly that, to use the glamour of the iconic Casio F91W and make it smart. True, this piece of tech is worth inspecting, so let's go! Welcome everyone, Tech for Our channel, I'm Michael, and it's so good that we can review together fresh and interesting tech on the channel. Well, this time there will be references to some really old devices. It feels like we're going back to the 80s with the Amazfit Neo. The similarities with some of the iconic Casio watches are undeniable, and this is something like a bridge between modern 2020 technologies and the past. Think about good fitness trackers, remove the vivid AMOLED screen, and put instead this old-school design, and you get the formula for this body. Hard to say it really has competition, right now looks to be one of a kind, and the one thing I know for sure, the Casio community can be so passionate that they may tear it apart, or could be quite the opposite to actually praise the return of this retro style. No matter what, it is Amazfit, so its DNA is bound to tracking your health statistics. Priced at just $40, it's not expensive at all, and apparently the lack of fancy display lets Amazfit release one of its cheapest devices up to this moment. More affordable even than the Amazfit fitness trackers. So let's focus on the hardware inside first, and let's take it out of the box. It arrives in a... oh, that's weird. Nah, let me tell you the story. We actually have these low-cost snacks, corn sticks, which kids love so much. Some of them have a toy included inside, often a low-cost plastic toy, and sometimes there even are watches. The Amazfit Neo looked so basic and entry-level that it felt like suitable match for a toy inside these snacks packs. I hope the Amazfit fans will forgive me for making this reference, but let's say the materials it's made of are not too far away from the quality expected to be found with the toys inside. To switch to the proper unboxing, it actually arrives in a fitness tracker-like pack, and inside the watch, the charging dock and some papers. There's not too much to study before using it, but before we actually switch it on, let me cover the tech specs. 1.2-inch STN non-touch screen, only 32 grams weight, 20mm wrist bandwidth, close to 30-day battery life, Bluetooth 5 BLE, accelerometer, PPG heart rate sensor, 5 atmosphere waterproof, backlight, and supported by the Zap app for iOS and Android. Sounds about right. Oh, and a very old-school but surprisingly handy beeper. So let's put it on the wrist and talk about the usability. 4 buttons to control it. Top left is the select button. Below, it's the back button, which if pressed for more than a second turns on the backlight. And on the right, the up and down buttons, quite simple indeed. If you wonder what you can do with it, it may be surprisingly a lot. From the watch, you can measure your heart rate, and in fact continuous heart rate tracking is supported and is visualized in the smartphone app, calories counter, steps counter, distance estimation, stopwatch, even PAI measurements, sections that are typical for smart bands, and there are such trackers that don't support some of these features even now in 2020. Apparently no GPS or other fancy features, but the point here is the retro style, and we can forgive the rest of the shortcomings. The good thing is that it notifies you if someone is sending you a message or calling you, and you can find that out because it beeps. Here's an example what happens if someone is calling you or the alarm triggers. The frequency tone of the beeper is very high, and you can hear that in almost any condition, even on a noisy street. And no, there is no vibration. Remember, we're being retro-bound here. The Zap app is your best friend in order to utilize the functions. This app is the former Amazfit app, and they have renamed it. Functions are the same though. After a week of wearing it, by the way, a great chance to test it with another device from the Xiaomi ecosystem, the Mi 10T Pro, I think it's not bad at all if we don't mind the plastic build, and it does what it is supposed to. Check this out. Sleep tracking. A very detailed and accurate sleep tracking indeed. HR tracking is also fantastic, and although not perfect, it's good. Sports tracking is not a strength of the Amazfit Neo, but it can sense when the HR is going up, and while the values are around 10 to 15 beats per minute of the real values I got in this day, you can clearly see the graph going up for the time I was mountain biking. So while not super accurate, the HR sensor is rather okay. Step counter is also pretty good, returning similar values to what I tracked with the Mi Band. And the battery life going beyond a month with continuous HR tracking may be too optimistic, but 2 to 3 weeks are easily achievable. Now, take a moment and think about one feature that the Amazfit Neo supports way better than the rest of the smartwatches out there. Yeah, 90s kids will understand that. The alarm, no way to miss it. Now, time for listing some of the drawbacks. Not sure if you get the same feeling from the close-ups, but the build quality, it's far from perfect. Feels like the watch is done out of very cheap kind of plastic. There already are plenty of screen protectors of tempered glass. You may need such, and since it's not a touch screen, feels like a good idea. Another complaint is the charging takes the ridiculous 5 hours of time, and that's a lot. Also, I couldn't find easy way to enable the Do Not Disturb mode, and because of the light edition of Bluetooth 5 Plays, it cannot be used for keeping your phone unlocked using the native Android's Smart Lock feature. Unless you have a Mi phone on the Mi 10T Pro, it worked flawlessly, but keep in mind that MIUI's implementation is different to the original Android feature. So, at the end, you can find things to like and things to dislike, but this watch is a fact and is one of these interesting tech pieces everyone would love to take a look at, but it's questionable whether we'll be really buying and using. Maybe a great match if you need to combine retro style with some health tracking, or if your heart still lives in the late 80s and early 90s and you still want some of the good stuff of today's tech, then yes, the Amazfit Neo is the right choice for you. Good or bad? Let's discuss in the comments below. My name is Michael and would love to get in touch with you there, and I'm honored to have shown you the Amazfit Neo on my channel. If you liked the video, don't forget to show me what you think using the buttons below. There's a subscribe button, the shortest way to keep in touch, and if you click this bell icon, the next video I publish will send you a notification. Will be fun and looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Take care!